I've been doing this work for 45 years. And over that time, I invented my own technique. I began to find out new things that came in that nobody else had ever discovered. So big and so important, so we called it QHHT, because it's way beyond past life regression. And this is the healing technique that we've now been teaching it, since 2002, that's 12 years. Well, as part of this technique, the very first thing that you do is take the client into a past life. Past life is just the very, very beginning. Then we go to this great power that I work with. To please take advantage of the training that is now available online. You can find it through my website, dolorescannon.com.
Established over 100 years ago, Watkins Books is one of the world's oldest and leading independent bookshops specializing in esoterica. We have the widest selection of esoteric books in the UK, and our friendly and knowledgeable staff are here to assist you in a unique ambience of our shop. So come and visit us in the heart of London, as we're open every day.
The Moore Show is supported by Mindscape, Paranormal and UFO Matrix magazines, available for download on all major digital platforms.
If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The Moore Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.
The comments and views expressed on The Moore Show are those of the people that make them and do not necessarily reflect the view of Kevin Moore, The Moore Show, or this radio station and its affiliate or sponsors. This show is for entertainment purposes only.
Broadcasting from the UK and across the world online, you're now listening to the UK's only alternative late-night talk show, and I'm Kevin Moore. For the next hour, I'll be covering subjects that will open up your mind and provide you with information you may have never heard before. On today's show, I'm joined by Justin and Ericka Perry, who are a young married couple based in Chicago, Illinois, with the ultimate mission of spreading the knowledge of the law of attraction and universal abundance. They currently run the largest self-help YouTube channel, You Are Creators, and connect with thousands of people daily through their social media channels and personal website. Recently, Justin wrote the best-selling book, I Wish I Knew This 20 Years Ago, which has become a major success both nationally and internationally. Together, they continue to spread their messages through books, shows, and conferences around the world. Justin and Ericka, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Kevin.
It's a pleasure.
It's great to have you on. It really is. It's fantastic. And, looking over at just some of the work that you've done as well is absolutely incredible with your YouTube channel and just the sort of message that you're both pushing. It's fantastic. But before we get into all the really great stuff that we're going to discuss, just tell us a bit about your background, how you guys met, and had you both always been into sort of the idea of you are the power, the creator, that you hold all the keys in a sense. What was your spiritual background?
Sure. So we met actually in college, and it's funny because our stories on how we met differ. His differs drastically from mine, but we actually met in college. I was a sophomore in college and he was a freshman. And we met in a biology class. Actually, he walked in and he sat next to me. And we exchanged some words, and believe it or not, we actually communicated on Facebook. And we met in person, and we just talked, and we just really gelled right away when we talked.
Yeah.
So our relationship moved pretty quickly. We had a son, our first son, within that first year. We got married about 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been married for almost 6 years. And just to touch on your question about if we were practicing, just alluding to practicing the law of attraction and our spirituality. Initially, it was the same, but it was different. I grew up in a household where we were pretty flexible. We went to church every Sunday, but there was no strict, whether we were Pentecostal or Baptist or anything like that. It was just Christian. But religion was a big part of my life. I know for Justin as well. But when we met, we went through some really hard times financially. And it took a toll on us. And we just began to just question a lot of different things together.
Exactly.
And we just collectively said, okay, something's not working.
Yeah.
So let's investigate and let's look and see if there's anything else out there that could possibly help us in this journey. And that's when we really discovered the law of attraction. And actually The Secret was one of the first things that we actually were introduced to.
For me, I was raised in a very strict Christian Pentecostal, a household. My parents are both ministers, and it was fire and brimstone. Okay, I'm talking about, it was, So, very strict. But growing up, I've always felt as if things didn't add up right. My favorite scripture was, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And I never knew why, but I would notice that when I pretended to be something that I wasn't, the world would gravitate towards that feeling. And it was like, interesting. So for me, my parents were great. I'm talking about a wonderful household, but religion didn't really suit me well. It was more fear-based, and fear is destructive for me personally, so yeah. But also, after we watched The Secret, my whole life opened up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It felt like this is what I was waiting for.
It's interesting because we had actually been introduced to The Secret once before, maybe a year prior to when we were actually open and receiving the information from The Secret. And when we were introduced to it, it was actually at a church. And the way that we were introduced was kind of
negative.
Don't
Right.
follow this book,
Right.
So at the time we were like, okay, this is bad. We won't even think about it anymore. And we didn't think about it anymore. And then, a year passed and a lot happened within that year. And we were actually introduced to The Secret again. And it was actually the audio version.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we watched the audio. We watched the video, and we listened to the audio, I think maybe once or twice. And I remember Justin saying, you know what? He was stopping and pausing. He's like, you know what? We were just talking about it. And after watching it, it was like the world just opened up. And it kind of sounds crazy, but it was true. It was kind of like we started to see the world through different eyes.
Right. Tell Kevin about the yellow ribbon.
Yeah, the pink ribbon.
Yeah, pink ribbon. Okay.
So after we watched The Secret, Justin and I talked and we said, okay, so we'll try to attract something that is so crazy that if we do attract it, then that means that this stuff really works.
Right.
So Justin came up with blue apples.
Yeah.
And I came up with pink ribbon. So I want to say some weeks passed and I was going to work and coming home. One day I walk into work and they were changing my office around. They were actually moving offices. And I said, what's going on? Why are the offices being moved? Because they didn't initially. And so they said, oh, you're going to be moved down to the hall, whatever. So I walk in the office. They say, get your stuff, get whatever you had in your desk so that we can move the desk over. So I go to my desk and I get all my stuff. And I notice a big bag of pink ribbon just sitting right there on my desk. And so I asked the janitor person who was moving the desk over, I said, where did this come from? And he said, oh, that was in your desk. We thought that was yours. And I said, no, this wasn't in my desk. And he said, yeah, we got that right from out of the drawer of your desk. And I'm like, and I still get chills right now when I relive that story, because I was just in total amazement. I didn't take pictures. I wish I would have now. But I remember calling Justin, and I was like so excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guess what happened? He's like, no way. And still to this day, we talk about those stories because it was just like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy how it works. See, okay, for me, every day for about maybe 5 minutes, I will visualize seeing a blue apple. Just something so random that if I attracted this, the law of attraction really works. Okay, let me try it out. So every day, for like 5 minutes or something, I would just visualize seeing this blue apple, blue apple, blue apple. Well, after about 2 weeks, I forgot about it. And we went into Bed Bath & Beyond. And I turned down the aisle, and I turned to my right, and there is a whole aisle, a shelf full of blue apples. And it freaked me out completely.
It was mine.
I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely mine. Kevin, crazy, man. It's crazy.
That's incredible. And that was your first experience, in a sense, of manifestation, of seeing this working.
Exactly.
And what kind of jobs did you have at that point as well? I mean, what were you?
So I was working in the nonprofit sector. I was a case manager for developmentally disabled adults.
Yep.
And I worked at Ford Motor Company.
Yep. Okay.
And that was hard work.
Yep.
Hard. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So a different time in life completely back then. So what other material did you then end up getting into as well? I mean, was it mainly concentrating on law of attraction, or was there other material that came your way that then you started looking into and looking at other possibilities in a sense?
Well, for me, I love reading near-death experiences from people who have died and they come back. And they all say the same thing, that basically your thoughts have a influence on the world around you. That negative thoughts somehow attract other negative thoughts and people and circumstances that match that negative thought. And positive thoughts, they attract positive people, circumstances. And for me, that was validation for me. I'm like, okay, so like these people have died and come back with this knowledge, saying the exact same thing. So yeah, that was more for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and when they come back, they they're never the same person as well, in a sense, with this extra knowledge. And in that sense, I suppose you were shedding a lot, shall I say, at that time, your perception on reality. Yeah. So where did you go from there? What was the next sort of big thing in this process for you in manifestation?
Yes.
We manifested our house.
Yeah. Right after that, though, tell him about like our total life changes.
Okay. Well, before this knowledge, we were completely broke.
Yeah, we were financially, like I said, we were just going through a lot financially. And after we started to just dive into this information, we were completely drastic. We've always been really spontaneous. Yeah. We moved to a totally different state, like in 2 weeks, just up and moved. Yeah. So we've always been really spontaneous, but I always had this passion to work with mothers. I was working with mothers who were addicted to drugs, and I always shared this passion with Justin. Like, I love business and I wanted to work with mothers. So I ended up quitting my job, my career that I had gotten a master's for. I ended up quitting that job, and I said, I'm going to start a business. And I think that's when we really started to take vision boards and really writing down what we really wanted seriously. I started writing down exactly what I wanted for my business. That next day, I bought like the domains and just really took off with it. And then maybe 2 weeks, or actually maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, Justin quit his job.
Yeah.
And he said, I really want, this is my purpose. I'm here I'm here to just tell the masses about this information. And so that's when we started You Are Creators. And from there, you know, we were on a mission to just grow our companies and just to serve as many people as we possibly could. And that's what we are here for. For me, my passion is I just love moms and women. So I find it extremely fulfilling when I have the platform to serve women in any capacity that I possibly can.
That's incredible. That's so beautiful. That is, and yeah. I mean, it's been an amazing journey. I think, would we say this started back in 2012? Is that roughly when it started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. About 2012. Yeah.
About 2012. Okay. And that, I guess, does it seem that long ago when, you know, from where you've come from?
You know what? Yes, it does, doesn't it? It does.
You know, when we sit down and we talk about it, it's like, wow, time really flew by, but it seems like a long time. And it does, just because we've grown so much, I think, spiritually and our relationship, and just we've grown a lot. Yeah. And I think the amount of growth is probably equates to maybe about 10 years if we hadn't came across this knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did your friends and relatives take you with the changes you've gone through? I mean, how's it been?
You know what? When we first started, we were like crazy people. We still are. You know, we have these crazy goals, and we say, you know, when we first started, we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah. And at the time, we had just had our third son, and so we were a family of 5 living in a 2-bedroom apartment. And we would tell people, we have, you know, a huge house, and we have a basement, and our house is paid for. And we would tell people this, and they were like, oh, okay, okay, whatever.
Sure, whatever.
You know, Justin would say, I'm a best-selling author, and I run a huge YouTube channel. And he would just, you know, just speak it. And I would speak it, and I would say, I have a large company that serves mothers all around the world. And people, you know, at first they laughed it off because they didn't take it seriously. But then when things started to manifest, people started saying, hold on. Wait a minute. How'd you all get that house? And your business is doing what? And you're a best-selling what? And, you know, you serve how many people? So when it started to manifest, I think people started to kind of take it more seriously. And then they started to ask questions. Right. And the questions led to them being a bit confused, I think, and uncomfortable when we did express how we were manifesting these things and why we, you know, spoke these things even before they saw them, because we saw them, we visualized, and I mean, like, we were there, you know, we were there when all this stuff was happening. But I think people just become, I think right now still they're a little bit taken back. Yeah. Sometimes when they see certain stuff, or when we tell them certain stuff, and they're like, huh?
Right. You know what? We are firm believers, knowers now that you can speak things into existence. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can think things into existence. My main focus is to remind people to have a clear intention on what it is you want. Exactly. Know what it is you want, but you have to hold it. And every single day, I'm talking about maybe 5 minutes a day, just visualize your life as if you have it already. Yeah. Give thanks to the universe. Thank you, God. Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is so important. Right. Gratitude.
Yes,
it's so important.
So, okay, this is where I want to lead into this. There's so much to this, right?
It is.
But there is, and the book is incredible as well. I mean, I love the title. I wish I knew this 20 years ago. Well, don't we all? Exactly. But it is true. It is, you know, because, you know, you've got the sort of secret to, you know, receiving, shall I say, anything you want. What is the key to that secret?
Well, thing is, the key is knowing what it is you want. Most people don't. Okay. Most people have vague ideas about what it is they want. For me, we wrote down
exactly
everything we wanted, from the house to our cars to the income. 2 years ago, I wrote that I make over $100,000 a year. Now, back then, I was making maybe 32. Okay. We manifested that and more. And every day I would visualize seeing $100,000 on the W-2 form, you know. And when I saw it, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this information works. This is crazy. Like, anything we want, we can have. We are completely limitless.
Kevin, there are those people who call themselves realists.
Right.
And so this information kind of goes above their head and they're like, yeah, but, and I have to say, I was one of those people. And I think the most important part is to not only speak exactly what you want, but believe that you have it already. Because feel it. Because anyone can say, I have $1 million. But if you're not speaking that with conviction, if you don't truly believe that, then it's no way for you to truly manifest that. Because so many times we hear that the subconscious doesn't look at it like, oh, well, this person meant that. It's completely, what am I trying to say?
Well, basically like this, okay? Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between something being visualized and something that's real. So therefore, every time you visualize this lifestyle, these things, you are imprinting these thoughts, these images on the subconscious mind. And somehow, some way, through ways that no one really understands, it's like the universe takes takes pictures of your thoughts that you think mostly about and bring them okay, like it brings it to you more. You know what I mean?
Negative or positive. That's why it's so important to hold on to those positive thoughts.
And I get what you were trying to say there, Ericka, that it's almost like, it's okay to say, that these are things that you want to experience or want to have, but you've got to have the emotion there to it as well. You've got to believe it, haven't you?
Yes. And Justin and I tell people this all the time. People who are financially just completely unstable or just really struggling, they say, oh, I have $1 million, but they don't truly believe that. And Justin, we tell people this all the time. Capture that feeling of when you had $100 and how you felt like you could buy anything, or capture that feeling of when you got an unexpected financial increase, whether it be $10, $1,000, whatever it was, you were still excited. Capture that feeling. Hold on to that feeling, and then use that feeling. And when you're saying that you have $1 million, that feeling, when you get that income where you didn't expect it, or you have that disposable income, is that feeling that you will have when you get that $1 million. If you can't see it, it doesn't matter if your bank account is negative. Those things don't matter. If you have that feeling and if you speak that with conviction, then you will eventually manifest it.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that's, this is something I can. This makes sense now because So the secret is in the sense you can have anything. You are the creator to manifest whatever it is that you're after. You've got to, like you say, re-experience that feeling of when you've had things before, and that's that energy and that ultimate feeling that you can bring into the manifestation of whatever it is you're looking for now. Yeah. But there's a whole there's lots of other processes that go with this as well. For example, trusting the process. Let's just discuss that. You've got to trust the process, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, you know what? Some people want things. You can kind of want things too bad. Okay. See, the thing is, like, the feeling is not wanting it. The feeling is, I already have it, and I'm patiently waiting its arrival. I already have this already. Thank you, God. Thank you for Thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You will deliver this to me at the perfect time in a perfect way. So it's more as if a relaxed knowing. Just know that you have it. A relaxed knowing. Be patient. Be patient because all is well. All is well.
There's no timeline, you know. You could you could manifest things right away. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could even be maybe even a year.
Right.
But it's about just being patient.
Exactly.
Being patient. And you know what? Sometimes Justin and I will put something on our vision board and manifest something that's totally different. But at the time, you may think, oh my goodness, what happened? I thought I was going to get that.
Right.
But you always get something that's way better. We said that we were going to get this condo, and we really wanted this condo, and it was a 3-bedroom condo. It was small, and we didn't get it. And I was devastated, but Justin was right there. And he said, you know what? Don't worry. It's going to be something better.
Well, thing is, 2 years before that, we own a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a full basement in Tinley Park, Illinois.
Yes.
Okay. And every day for about a month, like I visualized it, but I forgot about it.
Okay.
And we are living in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a full basement, Kevin. This knowledge works for everybody.
It works. You know, I just want to just put it in there. If anyone ever needs extra motivation or whatever it may be, Jim Carrey, Will Smith, and Oprah Winfrey are great motivators. Steve Harvey as well. Yeah. They have these stories, and let me tell you, Oprah Winfrey and Jim Carrey's story to me sticks out the most. And I can just listen to that over and over again because it was just sheer faith. You know, from living in cars and being homeless and being broke, but writing $10 million checks and keeping it in your wallet. And it's just sheer crazy faith. And it's like, you may not see how it's going to happen, but it will happen. And when it does, that's when people start listening. That's when people start saying, well, maybe he has something there. Maybe she has something there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
You know what? Jesus said, whatever it is that you ask for in prayer, believe that you already have it, and you will have it. So thing is, you have to use your affirmations in the present tense. I have, I am, I have, I am. But say it with emotion.
Yes.
I mean, embody each word that you say. Now, listen, seriously, every morning you can hear me in the mirror.
Yes, every morning.
I'm talking about spilling out my affirmation. I'm talking about boldly, proudly. I am this.
Funny, our 2-year-old does this now because he hears daddy doing it. So he does this. He wakes up and he said, I'm abundant. And although it's not coming out clearly yet, we know what he's saying. And it's really funny because every morning Justin is doing this every morning. And, you know, whatever works for the individual. I know we spoke before, and some people don't feel comfortable right away, you know, saying or speaking the affirmations out loud. Even writing it down and revisiting that or having a gratitude journal. Justin got us 2 just blank little spiral journals. Every morning we write down at least 5 things that we're grateful for. You know, just revisiting exactly what it is that you're manifesting at this time and being grateful for it already.
And you mentioned there, absolutely. And so many great things here we're talking about. I mean, you mentioned there as well that, okay, so you're doing it every day. But you're also saying that you should it's okay to let go, because I mean, I suppose some days you may not forget to do it, but there's other things in life that happen, aren't there? But should we see through some sort of process like this until it becomes a sort of reality, what it is we're looking for, or as you say, it comes in a different form, but it's still that which we asked for?
Yeah, you know what? The universe brings us our highest good. And whatever we ask for, either negative or positive, somehow, some way, we always receive it in abundance.
Yeah.
Negative or positive. So for me, like, my process is, okay, send me the right car that will bring me the most joy, but yet, it's like, okay, trusting the universe, trusting that what you manifest is actually for your good, and you will see the result when the time is right. Trusting the process, you know? So, yeah.
Yes, because absolutely, because I've just got to reiterate this as well. As you've said there, it may not come a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, whatever it may be. It'll come when the time is right. But because you're doing this, and asking the universe to deliver, it will happen. I mean, what do you? Yeah, is that how you would view it?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. You know what? Be patient, but yet keep your goal always in your mind. Every day, take inspired action.
Yes.
Not just any action, but when you get hunches or just random ideas, jump on it right away. I mean, these are thoughts from your superconscious mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thing is, it's like, you know what? For some odd reason, there is a huge urge to go to this store. Go to the store. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. The universe is always communicating with us through numbers or just like conversations that we overhear. The universe is always talking to us, leading us every step of the way, all the time.
Can we be the blockage sometimes, though, into why these things are not happening? Because, okay, say someone applies what you're saying, yeah, it feels right, they do it, and yet nothing.
Absolutely.
Because where are they blocking it, and why?
Well, thing is, everything lies in our belief system. Everything lies in our belief system. Religion teaches people that they don't deserve the good. Oh, you don't deserve God's mercy. You don't deserve good. So therefore, when you believe that, you don't receive the good because you don't believe that you deserve it. We believe we are pieces of the Creator. We are parts of the source. All of us are. We are expressions of the one. All of us are, Kevin. So therefore, anything that my heart desires on planet Earth, I deserve and I can have. We're here for service and experience, Kevin. So therefore, I mean, if you want something, ask for it. Claim that you have it already.
And don't give up.
Don't give
up. I think that patience is probably one of the big factors because many times we do the vision boards and we may put a time limit on the vision board. And if it doesn't happen within that time limit, many people get discouraged and they say, oh, well, maybe it's not going to happen. So I'll just do something else. And they don't really want it anymore. Not really want it, but they're not attempting to really manifest what they were trying to manifest initially because they get discouraged because it didn't happen in that time frame. But I think that being patient and like Justin said, just trusting, just completely trusting, just being completely just faithful. I think that patience is going to be one of the major factors in us pushing certain things away from us.
Okay. And you mentioned there about a visualization board as well. Just briefly describe that for the audience.
So for me, I like pictures and we try to get our boys involved too. We have 3 boys. And so we get like the little poster boards and we'll put pictures and I have put a picture for 30 Under 30, Forbes magazine, selling a certain amount of stork bags, which is one of my products from under my company. Just writing out, being in certain magazines and serving customers in particular countries and serving a certain amount of customers within a year. So just completely having a clear understanding of exactly what you want, putting it on poster boards. Some people just like writing. Justin has a ton of vision boards all around. We have some in the bathroom. We put a bunch of our vision boards in the bathroom.
Full of affirmations.
We do. If there's
That's cool.
affirmation,
everywhere, man.
I like to stick I'm a girl and girls like looking in the mirror a lot. So I like to stick my affirmations right in the mirror. Right when I wake up in the morning and I'm grooming myself, I see affirmations. And like Justin said, the bathroom, the closet is an awesome place. We have them in the closet. For our kids, if you try to get your children involved, and even for adults, we put them on their wall. So we have big poster boards with the pictures on their wall. So whatever works for you, if writing it down and scratching it off every time you accomplish something, I really, really recommend that. Because
Yeah.
actually scratching one of your goals off, it feels so good. It's like, yes, I can do anything.
Right, yeah.
And I think it gives you that burst of energy to just keep going.
Yeah.
So, pictures and writing it down and just putting it places where you're going to see it every day, where you're going to encounter, just like you said, Kevin, even if the day gets hectic and you start doing, other stuff and you may not think about it as much. Put it on that mirror, put it in the bathroom, put it in the closet, put it wherever you're going to see it every day, just as a reminder.
You know what? Also,
Sure. Yep.
It's okay to daydream. It's okay to dream about the life you want.
It is.
So often as adults, we lose the sense of dreaming. Dream.
Yeah.
Dream. Like for me, I love going into that place where like I am visualizing my future self. And I see the interviews. I actually visualized you interviewing me.
No way. Wow.
That's why I contacted you. I said, you know what? You gotta take action.
Yeah.
I felt led to. I'm
That's
like,
so
you know
cool.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But just dream.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. You know
Everything
what?
is possible.
I love quantum physics, even though I really don't fully understand it as of yet. But I love quantum physics because quantum physics, quantum physics gives so much credence to consciousness and how it affects the world around us.
Yes. Scientifically.
Yeah.
Scientifically.
That's right.
People need that.
Yeah. So, we are limitless creatures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Howard Storm told me. He said, one of the things Jesus showed him was in the future, everybody was master manifestors.
Yep.
They could visualize on a plant and it would bloom instantly. We all have that capability. And I believe that we will get to the promised land.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's why we're here, Kevin, because
Yes.
we want to share this knowledge with as many people as possible.
I just think, like I'll keep saying, it's incredible what you guys have done. You truly are an inspiration to many people that have come across, even just the YouTube channel. You've touched a lot of lives there. You'll never quite know which lives you touched. It doesn't matter right now, but you have. Because again, you must get quite a bit from the videos yourself as well. As much as helping others. But I guess when you apply these techniques and when you come from this space as you're coming from, life will always challenge you. You must have gone through your challenges sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get challenges daily. We both run businesses, and we're both heading the businesses, and so each day we get faced with challenges. And it's not really about the challenge itself. It's just about how you perceive the challenge.
Exactly.
You can perceive the challenge as being, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Oh my gosh, why did this happen? Or you can perceive the challenge as being a nudge in a different direction. And so that's how we try to look at every challenge with our rose-colored glasses on and how can we get the most from out of the challenge itself. Running a business, there's going to be ups and downs, and it's mainly ups usually.
Right.
But you are going to be faced with those downs. You are going to be faced with challenges, and everybody has those days where it just feels like, but it's just about turning those days around and always looking at the brighter side, always.
Yeah, you know what? There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. You try to be positive all the time, but there is a ebb and flow to life, you know, but there is always a gift in every obstacle. Always. Always and forever. But if you look for the gift, you'll find it. If you look for the problem, you'll find that as well. Seeking, you shall find.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, I mean, I do meet them. I'm sure you've met people, and I'm guilty myself of doing it as well. Where I've said, "Oh, well, this is never going to work. It's not working right now, so, you know, I'll shelve it until later on." Or you're putting blocks in your way sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's that space where you're mentally coming. If you don't believe in it, then the universe is not going to deliver it.
Right, exactly.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely, you know, so many people, we try to encourage people to go out there and start their businesses. And so many people are so talented and they have just so much that they want to do, but they don't think they can do it. So therefore they work the 9-to-5s and they work the jobs where they hate them. And then at the end of the day, they still don't have enough money for their bills and to enjoy life.
Right.
And so we try to encourage people to get out there and start doing exactly what you love to do. Start doing it. It may not be easy. I started my company back in 2012. And 2014, the end of 2014 is when I really started to see results. So I went through 2 years of putting in a ton of money and a ton of energy where I was up in the middle of the night, just working on it and not really seeing results. Right. And so, you know, with the help of my husband, he was like, you know what, just get up and get yourself up and just keep it moving. Maybe start looking in a different direction. And I had that inspiration just hit me one day, and we were driving in the car and I told him, Stork bag. And I started to tell him about it. And he said, okay, I got chills. That's it. That's the moneymaker. That's it. And you know, like everything else, it was really spontaneous. I started to that night, I started to research how I could do this, and we just put it out there, and right away, people just gravitated towards it. And so, you know, it took 3 years for me to actually see it happen. So that's just an example, you know, of just continuing to go and just picking yourself up.
Yeah, you know what? My favorite affirmation is, all things lead to my success, happiness, and wealth. So anytime I manifest things that I don't understand, like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
My affirmation is, all things lead to my success, happiness, and wealth. Yeah. Even if I don't understand it, Kevin. You know, so thing is, don't lose faith. Everything that happens to us grows us. All is well. All is well.
All is well.
Stay focused on what you want. You know, I mean, visualize what you want. Have a crystal clear intention. This is what I desire, and so it is. And live every day as if you are just patiently expecting its arrival. Mm-hmm.
That's great. I mean, that is just, it's so true what you're saying, and it's, you know, this is very meaningful to me right now. I just want you to let you know that, just for myself as well. It's so true, and don't come from fear neither.
Fear is, you know what? Florence Scovel said, the only enemy of man is doubt and fear, and it's so true. Fear is the opposite of love, not hate, but fear. Mm-hmm. You know, so you know what, lose the fear. God is love, we are love one another. Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. And do you think that, you know, if you're going to use something like the law of attraction, okay, look, you know, I could manifest whatever it may be that I would like to experience right now. But what if we're going for something bigger, in the sense of, should we be looking at, should we be looking at our passion? What is our passion, firstly, before we start looking at what it is we want to bring into our life to, you know, to go out there and do?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you are creators. When we first started this is really something that Justin automatically, he said, this is my passion. This is what I'm here for. Yeah. And so when Justin is creating each and every video that's in Your Creators, he creates them. When he's doing it, he gets into his zone. Yeah. When I am working with my business and with the Stork bag, and I try to express as much love to my customers, I'm putting just love into each bag, because I'm personally packing the bags, and I have help now with the company, but it's just sheer love. When I send out products to my customers, I want them to feel the love. As soon as they open the box, it's like, I want them to feel the love. I want the person who's giving the present or the gift to feel the love from the person who's receiving it. I just want the energy, that energy to just flow. And so whenever I may feel yucky or icky, I'm not going to go in there and do work, because it's not coming from a place where I just feel love and passion to do the work. It's usually forced, because I'm like, oh, okay. But when I'm feeling it, and when I'm, like Justin said, that inspired action, and I go in there and I just lose myself in there. And I have a room that I call the stork bag room. And when I'm in there, Justin knows, okay, she's in the stork bag room, just like when he's in his studio, we call it, he's in the zone and he's doing his thing.
Yeah, you know what? Every video that I make, you know what? This is the reason why my channel is successful, I believe. Every video that I make, I embody the spirit of love and service. Sometimes it takes me like 7 to 8 hours to make one video.
This is true. This is true.
But I won't work if I don't feel inspired to work. Okay? Meaning basically like if I don't feel the energy of service, then I won't do any work. Because to me, like if I did do work, it would be in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
That's quite powerful. That is, Justin, because what you're saying there, well, it's this whole of service. You mentioned this off air as well. That one of your drives in life is to be of service to people, and when you run a business, if people came from that, rather than trying to do the business to just pay a wage or pay to bring up, if you want a business to make loads of money, wouldn't it be more worthwhile for everyone, and you would attract more of what you want if you came from, how can this business better someone's life?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. I think if we look at some of the really successful companies and the successful CEOs, Virgin, what's his name?
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson is one. I think a lot of what they do, a lot of their drive is coming from serving people, not just their customers, but also the people who are working with them, who's working in the business. With my business, my plan is to serve moms as much as I can. So not only my customers, but the hiring of mothers, the mothers who want to be at home, but also want to work, give them a platform and give them a way to work and also be there with their babies, or not, feel nervous or scared or not want to call off if their baby's sick, but know that, okay, my baby's sick, I can stay home with my baby and work. So there is, it's just serving everyone around. Everybody around is winning. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You're winning, your customers are winning, your employees are winning, everybody's winning. And that's what we want.
Yeah, you know what? Less competition.
Yes.
There is more than enough for everybody. Okay? I mean, we don't have to compete. We can just create. Mm-hmm. Okay? There is more than enough service and people, customers. Just listen, like no competition. Just create. Just create. Point blank.
That's beautiful, man. That is a lot. Other for example, Neil Donald Walsh in Conversations with God. One of the key messages there. I mean, there's lots of them. Was there is enough
for everybody.
Enough. For everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? One of my favorite books is what is the book? Wallace Walto's Getting Rich. No. Wallace Walto's. You know what? Yeah. But yeah, you know what? Like his book says, basically, you will create a service, and that people will have more than they have now, and you will also have more than you have now. You don't have to take from anybody.
Yeah.
Just keep giving. Keep giving. The Science of Getting Rich. That's the book. I'm sorry. By Wallace Walters. Awesome book.
Right. And you also mention in your fantastic book as well about well, there's lots of different chapters here, but one thing, giving back. You do talk about that.
Well, thing is, giving is the foundation for receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Fillmore said, "Give, because from out of it all things come." These universal laws have made me a better person, because I know now that I can't treat anyone a certain way that I mean, how you treat someone else is how you will eventually be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. You got to reap what you sow. So treat this stranger like your brother, because we are connected.
Yeah.
But thing is, giving is so crucial. It's so vital. If you give, you will never go without. Never go without. Giving is always the foundation for receiving. Always.
It's so true. It's so true. And when you've experienced these things, that's when you know, yeah, there's more to this than just meets the eye. This is the process of how the universe seems to naturally work. Where would you like to see yourselves, guys? I mean, where do you see yourselves going with what you're doing? Okay, the books come out, but I mean, there's so much you could do, isn't there? I mean, you must have a whole heap of ideas of where you'd like to take this.
Yeah, well, you know what? We just want to have a platform so large that we don't only reach thousands of people, but millions of people and all around the globe. So, more books, just more interviews and more ways for us to expose this information or reintroduce this information. So we just see ourselves, you all will see us more and more. That's what we plan on doing, just, serving people as much as possible,
right,
in every capacity. So, you may see, the YouTube channel and shows and different specials and books and audios and maybe even conferences we're looking at down the line. And so we just want to serve just on a grander scale.
Big dreams, big visions, Kevin.
Yeah.
Big vision.
Yeah.
I mean, so much. I'm like, should I tell them about it right now? I'm like, should I? I'm like, I don't know if I should tell them right now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I see you guys on a stage. I do. As inspirational speakers, I really do. Well, what would you say is the most important message of this book?
That we are pieces of the Creator, and that we have been given the wonderful opportunity to create our lives from nothing. We are supported. We are loved. And your happiness makes the world happy. Your misery adds misery to the world. Your happiness adds happiness to the world. So find your happiness and share it. But we are limitless. We are completely limitless creatures.
Yes.
This information has me so excited that I'm stumbling over my words, because seriously, like there's
so much that we want to say.
There's so much going on in my mind that I'm kind of like freaking out. Like, okay, should I say this? Should I say this? Should I say this? But seriously, I mean, I'm like, but we are limitless creatures created by God and from God. We are pieces of God. All of us are. So we are limitless. That's it, Kevin.
Well, I will. I do highly recommend your book. We've barely touched any of the chapters. There's a whole multitude of chapters here. I think there's around 71. So there are a lot of different layers and levels to this. And as you say, I wish I knew this 20 years ago. There is. I would so recommend this book. And I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on today. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we've come to an end on tonight's show. Don't forget that you can listen and watch all our past interviews on The More Show's official YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new daily shows. You may also find out more on all past and upcoming guests on the show via themoreshow.co.uk, and do like us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates. So until next time, be safe.